tall walls with plenty of space. I don't have that. I'm fortunate in that I have a spare room that used to be a junk room, and I just basically turned it into my own little space to make art. So yeah, I have a big desk. On it I've got lots of pots. I keep my good brushes in my little dog pot. Is it a cat? Is it a dog? I don't know. Everyone seems to disagree with me, but you make your mind up. In my Bimo pot I tend to keep my coloured pencils. I love Faber-Castell. I don't know why I just said it like that. In my pot I tend to keep my favourite paints that I use quite frequently, which are the Holbein acryla? Is that how you pronounce it? Gouache? I don't know how to say things, I just use them, so yeah, they go in that little pot. On to my left side of my desk I have a little tray, and I keep sort of bits and bobs, things that I can use to put in the background of Instagram photos and scrap pieces of paper. I also have this adorable picture of me and my old dog Teddy, who's a Dalmatian. On the other side of the room I have a quite colourful bookshelf filled with little knickknacks, because I love little memorabilia and stuff like that. Most of my books are either my mum's, my grandma's, or from a charity shop. The odd few are art books that I've bought off artists. I'm flicking through Colour and Light. I can't remember the author, but I will leave it in the description because it's really, really good. But yeah, I know to some people it might annoy people having it in colour coordinated, but to me it just makes me so happy to see that. Oh yeah, and the reason why I tend to keep stuff from old charity shops or old books is because you get to find amazing books like this. Hello, yes, I want a knitted jumper with a groovy looking cat on it. Yes, please. I've actually asked my mum if she could make me this exact one, but still waiting for that. Yeah, maybe for Christmas, I don't know, we'll see. On the opposite wall of the window I've got this little gallery wall with Magikarp in his little house. I'll list, hopefully I've been good and I've put up the names of the artists. I've got a little cabinet, a little wooden basket cabinet type thing that I keep all my embroidery and sewing things in. So Bimo, Jake and Finn all live on top of that, along with my asparagus fan. Yeah, so it's just mostly threads, ribbons, and then in the bottom last drawer I've got old patterns that were my mum's, and I've just taken because yeah, she will occasionally come and use this room as well, because we have a sewing machine underneath the desk and an overlocker. So fun fact, I studied fashion at university, and once I finished I stopped making things until I started making my t-shirts for my shop recently, which involved a bit of embroidery, which is always fun. A lot of the stuff I own is quite old and vintage because that's just what I like. It brings back memories. It makes me think of me and my mum going to the market and looking for buttons to put on our clothes. So yeah, bunch of sketchbooks, one of those overlockers I was talking to you about. My typewriter, I actually have a cover on that, but for the purpose of this video and the aesthetic, I took it off. One of my shelves, it's got a beautiful Riso print by Beatrice Blue, a Halloween decoration, a pot that I made myself and the glaze went wrong, but I still love him. He's a little crocodile. My pride and joy, my Monstera, my variegated Monstera, I actually got her very cheap, amazingly. I bought her when she was half this size last year. Her name's Adelaide, if you want to know. A bunch of storage boxes at the top of my little cabinet, and some yarn just for those aesthetic, you know. Inside my cabinet is kind of where I tend to just store packaging stuff for my shop. So the top layer is all my envelopes, tape, old envelopes, because I'll try to reuse stuff if I can. On the second shelf I keep my prints, sort of my merch, my cards, my notebooks, my t-shirts are in the basket. I have more t-shirts, but those ones are sort of ready to go because I hand embroider each one. The shelf underneath I keep tissue paper and some old paintings, and then the shelf below that is fabric and all my camera equipment, so stuff like tripods, battery chargers, SD cards, and my other cameras and lenses. So that's pretty cool. Trying to be organised. It's not that great inside, but I know where things are, so it works for me. I've never seen the back of my head before, so this is weird. But yeah, my space is small, but it works for me. My shop isn't that crazy big at the minute. I'd like to think it would get there one day, but you know, when that happens, that happens. Speaking of embroidery, for my t-shirts, this is where I keep all my loose threads. I know to some people this would probably be really frustrating to look at, but it's kind of pleasing to my eye. So yeah, that's basically it in my room. I hope you enjoyed this little look into my little studio, and yeah, I'll see you next time.